much. Well, breaking overnight as we led this hour, country star Morgan Wallen charged with 3 felonies in connection with that incident in Eric Church's new honky-tonk right there on Broadway. Nick is live in our 5 Alert Center. Nick, this all involved a chair being thrown from like the top floor of this building.
Yeah, that's right. Getting more information in this morning, we can tell you it was an incredibly busy area there along Lower Broad, and just very lucky that chair didn't hit someone. However, it did crash to the pavement from 6 stories up, just missing 2 Metro police officers. So yeah, they checked it out. According to the arrest report, the 30-year-old singer was at Chief's Bar on Broadway Sunday night. Staff members told police Wallen was responsible for throwing the chair from the 6th story of the business. Officers say video confirmed Wallen was, quote, lunging and throwing an object over the roof. Witnesses told officers Wallen laughed afterward. Now, Wallen was arrested for 3 counts of reckless endangerment for the 2 officers who were in that vicinity and for the general danger, as you can imagine, to the public. Lots of pedestrians down there. Wallen was also charged with disorderly conduct. His bond was set at $15,250. He has bonded out, and he'll be in court May 3rd. Coincidentally enough, that's when he'll be in town for a concert series that day and the next, Ben.
So, Nick, do we have any word from Wallen's camp on this?
Not yet. We did reach out to his attorney, Warwick Robinson, released a statement earlier this morning, one confirming he had bonded out, also confirming, yes, he was arrested at a downtown Nashville restaurant or bar, and that he is cooperating fully with authorities.
What is up, y'all? It's Coffee. Back at it, man, and we got an update here. Morgan Wallen. Talk to me about Morgan Wallen in the comments, everyone out there. I always talk about how on this channel I talk about it all, from sports to music to current events to conspiracies, whatever. We'll tap into it at all. We'll talk about it all. It's all about engaging with y'all and hearing from the people out there. So comment. But what I'm getting at is I fuck with all music. You know what I mean? I'm not really, I know ish, like I just won't listen to anything like a particular genre for the most part over the years. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment if you feel the same way. There's so many great bangers coming out of different genres of music. But to keep it real with y'all, country is never something I've really ever got into, you know? Don't get me wrong, man, right? Wasn't Billy Ray Cyrus, My Achy Breaky Heart? Of course, Garth Brooks. How could you have lived on this planet through the 90s and not known the amazing run that Garth Brooks had? But remember, he did that old weird alter ego album, and it was like, I don't know if I want to necessarily call it a miss, but it just kind of threw everyone for a loop. Maybe he was ahead of his time with all that, what he was trying to do there, like a concept album, which is intriguing as well. But I feel like with the blogosphere, like this current internet era, what it is now, there could be such a lead up to such a thing with social media posts, little skits, little things of that nature where everyone is in tune with the rollout, where back then, there was no blogosphere, you know what I mean? So some people got it, some people didn't. Hell, I think even David Bowie, who RIP to him, went platinum over and over again and did all kinds of amazing ish during his run within the music industry, reinventing himself, collaborating with different artists. Hell, remember Trent Reznor, I'm Afraid of Americans in the 90s. Like, Bowie was immortal in a sense, but I believe he even did a concept album that kind of missed, or maybe it was like a surprise album or something like that. Kind of like when Eminem dropped Kamikaze and no one knew it was coming. But basically what I'm getting at is I don't really know anything about country. I've heard some country songs that were all right, but I don't know enough to really speak on it at all like that. But I know Morgan Wallen is huge. Like, people love this dude. He definitely has a voluptuous mullet. And is he the dude that collaborated with Lil Durk? I feel like he is, but I could be wrong. I know there was a country artist to collab with Lil Durk over the last couple years or whatever. And it's so wild when you look at this dude, like I spoke of his voluptuous mullet, right? He just looks like any old motherfucker you see. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some celebs look like they just have that celebrity look about him. And I'm not saying he don't look like a celebrity, but at the same time, he has that everyday quality about him as well. But hit the comments, everyone, with your thoughts about him, his music, different things of that nature. If I want to educate myself a little bit on his music, some tracks to start off with, all that, like tap in, let's talk about it. But getting to this arrest, you hear that, man. It's a wild situation. Sounds like a night of drinking that went a little bit too far. And I feel like we have all had those situations. And I feel like somewhere in this, as I don't go into the comedy as much, people often tell me, like, Coffee, you're trying to be too serious and do the news, cut loose, tell a couple fucking jokes or something. I feel like this news here, somewhere there's a Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck if punchline in here that I'm missing, you know, right? Like, you might be a redneck if you get arrested for throwing a chair off a roof with a mullet in Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know, you know, but when it comes to these kind of arrests, these drunken wild nights, sometimes it's like, oh, the media is making this sound so much worse. Like, if you were there when you see things hit the news, like, comment if y'all ever been there when some ish went down, and then later you seen it in the news and you were like, man, they propped that up. Or you hear the way people are talking about it like it's folklore or something like that. Like, yo, I was there. It wasn't all that. But sometimes it's worse or has the potential to get worse. I don't really know what it is with this one. But when I hear the charges, like I hear the story, I'm thinking, man, this guy's so lucky. He was drunk, probably wilding out a little bit too much, threw a chair off a roof and missed a cop. Man, what a close call for this man. If that chair hit the cop, he could be doing a prison bit or whatever, you know, like I'm thinking maybe just some kind of drunken disorderly, a couple misdemeanors because the chair didn't hit the police. But no, they hit this man with 3 felonies, 3 reckless endangerment cases for the chair almost hitting the cops. And, you know, laws and penal codes and stuff like that are different. They vary from state to state. But from my understanding, for the most part, reckless endangerment is the kind of charge that you can get from discharging a firearm in public amongst other individuals because you're recklessly endangering other people that them, you know, BULLETSs could hit them, hurt, causing serious physical harm, or even worse, killing someone. In this situation, the chair, I guess they're looking at it like he was letting off the strap, man. It's pretty wild. Now, isn't that something? They say he's was smiling, and you can see in the mugshot, dude is smiling, having a blast. Again, I don't know much about this guy, but based on all this, it seems like he's a pretty happy-go-lucky type motherfucker. But they said he's fully cooperating with authorities. Like, what are they talking about? I mean, did he not bust their balls, not give them a hard time? Like that's one thing, right? And good, you know, I recommend for everyone with interactions with police, with the law, whether it's getting pulled over or whatever, kill them with kindness, be respectful. Even if they're busting your balls, it really does you no good to give them a hard time in any way. You open the door for the situation to get out of hand, and you open the door for possibly more charges and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell y'all how many situations, not that I've had a ton of run-ins with the law, but when I'm basically getting at, when I was younger, I did the old knucklehead, I'm a badass thing. And then I did the old show an individual respect as I would want to be shown to me. Motherfuckers just doing their jobs, even though there is some cops out there that are doing more than their job, trying to abuse their power and things like that. If you put them good vibes out there, it's going to help you one way or another, even if it's just helping a situation from not getting way worse. And then nowadays, obviously, with body cams being around, it helps so much from stopping the police from pulling the bull-ish. I'm not saying they still won't try, and it still don't happen. As I swear I've seen a situation recently from somewhere, some kind of news story or something I was following, where some old middle of nowhere in the sticks police department, you know, who didn't really advance with technology at all. Reminds me of one spot that I was in Florida. There was a couple different departments. One spot was a city jurisdiction, and then the next spot over, which was unincorporated land, was governed by the sheriff's department that didn't have body cams. I don't know if they did at this point. I ain't been there for like going on 5 years. But when I went to court for something once, just like a driving offense or something like that, the dude was like, oh, good, the city police got you, man. Them cops out there in the unincorporated land jurisdiction, they ain't got body cams, and they will pull all kinds of bullish. But getting back to what I was talking about with this other story I seen in the news recently, there was some backwards ass middle of nowhere, police department jurisdiction or whatever, where they finally got, elevated to having body cams, which at this point, let's say, y'all, this should be a mandatory thing. We've seen enough situations of cops lying. I'm not trying to get too off topic here. Cops lying, abusing their power and things like that, to know, and it's not like the everyday person to know, cops is regular motherfuckers that just were deputized or given some kind of man-made authority that was given them to another man. It wasn't given them to a power above or something like that. And everyone, get right with your maker, man, because it's the reckoning times, real talk. But we've just seen so many situations of cops abusing their power in so many ways. Hell, I seen a cop planting drugs on people with the body cam. He was just slick enough to do it out of the view. And back to what I was talking about, put like 50 people in jail. They had to free them all, and some of them had served 5 years innocent while he was planting meth on everyone. But back to this little middle of nowhere department I was speaking of that got started using the body cams. Can you believe what they kept having happening in a lot of situations was when things would get tricky and go to court? Oh, the body cam footage was corrupted. It wasn't working and all that. You know what I mean? So just goes to show you, man, that body cams need to be everywhere. That should be mandatory. But back to this Morgan Wallen guy, and apologies, y'all. I go the long way to talk about things sometimes. It's just how I coffee talk it up. That's why I'm coffee talking with y'all, Team Coffee out there. So make sure you become a part of Team Coffee and sub up to the channel and tap in. They do have the video of this. We probably won't see it till the case is long and over. And what a trip that is, that he has court on May 3rd, the same day he has a concert date. Hopefully he's still able to go do his show and get his bag. It doesn't conflict with the court proceedings, and the fans don't miss out that want to see this guy. And more or less, the body cam should really tell the true story of this situation, what the real temperature was, and if those charges should stand as felonies or not. Because a felony is a felony, no matter if you're famous or not. You can get hit and do some time for it. But just my humble prediction, I'm sure his lawyers will do what they got to do and get this pled down to a misdemeanor or something like that. But I was just shocked to see that they gave this man 3 felonies. Again, like, comment if y'all agree with that. When you hear the description of what went down, you're like, oh, he lucked out. The chair didn't hit the cops. It didn't even tap the cops. You know what I mean? They weren't even strucketh by the wind that came off the chair. He should be all right. He's just going to have some drunken disorderlies and some misdemeanors. Then you're like, damn, 3 felonies for reckless endangerment. Are they going to try to make an example out of this guy? What's going to happen? And whose bar was he at? Is that another country individual that he was partying with? Because if he was, that's another missed out Jeff Foxworthy joke opportunity that I'm not hitting on. But there y'all have it, man. Morgan Wallen smiling in his mugshot. Will he be smiling when he goes to court? We'll have to wait and see. Hit the comments. Let me know your thoughts across the board. Don't forget to subscribe. And once again, we talk about it all over here, so there's no reason not to subscribe and join Team Coffee. Much love, y'all. Catch you on the next one. Peace.